Welcome back. It is time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money this week. Joining me right now is Bulltech Capital Markets Chief Strategist Catherine Rooney-Vera, ERShares CEO Joel Shulman, and Optimal Capital Director of Strategy Francis Newton-Stacy. Great to see everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Joel, let me kick it off with you. Take a look at this market. What a word on Wall Street this is going to be. Dow Industrial's up 1,543 points right now, Joel. This, of course, on the news from Pfizer. The NASDAQ is up 85, and the S&P is higher by 132. That is a 5.5% rally on the Dow. Pfizer and BioNTech announcing their coronavirus vaccine reported better than expected results in the phase 3 study, and that it is 90% effective. Drug makers could ask for FDA to permit the wide use of the vaccine by the end of November, Joel. Markets are rocking on this news. Would you buy these stocks? What do you think this tells us about the market here?
Well, we're seeing, the first 2 weeks of November, we saw growth stocks rise quite a bit, particularly entrepreneurial growth stocks based on rising COVID cases, approaching 130,000. And people need to remember, back in March when we shut down the markets, they were about one quarter. They were only about 30,000 cases. So we've certainly seen an explosion. Now with the news that we may have a vaccine by the end of November, and they're going to roll out about potentially 50 million vaccines, and maybe a billion plus in 2021, it's certainly great news for the beat-up value sector. And so the Dow is primarily value, S&P, kind of a mix, and then the NASDAQ, which earlier this morning was up around 2.5%. Came down a little bit with value rising. So if this is true, and if they can find that the COVID vaccine, this vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech, works for the elderly, and they haven't yet tested it on the elderly, but if it's true that it works for the elderly, it's certainly good news for value stocks that have been beat up so badly.
Okay, we will leave it there. Keep watching. Catherine Rooney-Vera, Joel Shulman, Francis Newton-Stacy, thank you so much for the Word on Wall Street. We'll be right back.